Good morning, healthy, happy, and hot. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is. I am going to put together for you guys today a series of lower body videos, which would have been from week 4 of healthy, happy, and hot. So this first video is going to be lower body with no equipment. So this is if you have absolutely no equipment access, there's tons and tons of exercises you can do for lower body strength training. I would like you to get to the point and move up to using weight, but just know that it's an option if you're recovering from soreness or an injury, or you're just working your way up, that you can start with no weight at all. If you're on vacation, you can do these things if you don't have any equipment accessible to you. Lots of options. So first video here is lower body, no equipment, and the first exercise is what I call air squats. So squats, there's tons of variations on squats, but they're just one of the greatest lower body exercises that there is. So air squats means we're just using air. So when we squat, we sit back and then bring it up. The picture on the PDF file that you guys have provided from week 4 actually shows the woman with her arms straight out. That's fine if you're more comfortable. You can also put them up behind your head if you want to. I prefer just to put them in here in sort of a prayer position. I'm going to show you from the side so you can see proper body form. I know you guys have heard me repeat this so many times. Do not let your knee come out of your toe. I want you guys to see my feet here. So you're not going to see my head for just a second, but the reason I'm doing that is I want you to see what I'm talking about. When I talk about your knees not coming out of your toes, you're going to sit down like you're sitting in a chair when you do your squat, okay? And you can see my knees do not come out over my toes. If they did, this is what it would look like, okay? So you're sitting back so that knee doesn't come out over the toe, and then you're coming back up. When I'm down in this squat position, I actually can look down, I can see my toes. If my knees were out over my toes, I would not be able to see my toes from up top, okay? So again, sit back. You're trying on a squat to keep your upper body as upright as possible. Depending on the flexibility in your lower back, your hamstrings, that'll vary for different people. But I don't want you to purposely, really lean over, but do try to stay as upright as possible and back up. And as you come up on those squats, you're going to squeeze those glutes. This is really primarily a quadricep exercise and glutes. Okay. So now, so you don't have to stare at my feet constantly. Exercise number 2 is alternating body weight lunges. Love lunges. Another exercise where there's a lot of variations and modifications. Both on this exercise, on lunges, and on the squats. If you're struggling with balance or anything like that, you can always do them up against a wall, so you can actually use the wall for balance. You can also put a chair beside you and hang on to the top of the chair as a help with that balance. So lunges, I'm going to show you 2 different types of lunges. One is a forward lunge. The next one is a backward lunge. So if I'm doing right leg, forward lunge, get back here so you can see me a little bit. I'm just going to step out in front of me. The weight stays basically in the heel of that front foot. And when you drop down, it's straight down and straight back up. And I wanted you guys to see on this, which I got to move the camera angle, that both of my legs are basically at a 90-degree angle. So once I'm out, this glute is engaged. I drop down, and you can see I want a 90-degree angle in front and a 90-degree angle in the back. So I go down and then up. Again, same rule with the squats. My knee is not coming out over my toe here. If it was, it would look like this. We do not want that. You want to be back in this position. So drop straight down, back up, and step back. Okay, so the motion on this, you're moving forward, but what can happen is you move forward and then you lean in. Instead, what I want you to do is get your placement and then drop straight down, come back up, push off though with that heel and come back. And then if you were going to alternate sides, you'd go over to your left, drop straight down, up, my glutes engage the entire time, and come back. You can keep your hands up here in that prayer position if you want. Pray that you're going to make it through those lunges. There we go. So these are forward lunges here. Down, weights in the heel, up, and back. Okay, if we were going to do a backward lunge instead of a forward lunge, it changes which muscles you're using slightly. So if I'm here, I'm actually going to take, if I was going to do the right leg, step my right leg back, then go down, come back up, and push forward. So the weight was on my front heel that time. If I switch legs, back, down, up, and forward. So you have a couple different options. Try it both ways. You might have a preference for one or the other. I personally like to do backward lunges a little bit more. I feel like it engages my glutes a little bit more. But know that both of those options are available to you. So, okay. Body weight side steps. This is our third exercise on lower body, no equipment. Love these. So hands on hips basically, and you're actually going to lunge rather than forward or backwards. You're going to lunge to the side, okay? So you're here, and then push off and come back. So this is what it looks like, and then I'll describe here and back. So if you see it from the side, guys, you can see that I'm actually lunging. My foot's kind of at a 45-degree angle, which you can't really see. But look where my knee position is. It's coming straight out at you. Okay? Watch the other direction. I'm here. So you can see it's not as if I'm coming up here or coming back here. I'm staying in alignment. Okay? The other thing that's happening, once again, you'll hear this 50 times, but it's important that you hear it. Your knee does not come out over your toe. So when I step out here, I lunge down, my position is, my knee is straight over my ankle. It's not leaning out over my toe. It's straight over my ankle. And then I push off and come back. Okay, so you can just alternate. You can do 10 on one side and then 10 on the other, or you can alternate back and forth. 1 and 1, 2 and 2, so you'd actually have 20. Burpees, or another thing to call these, are it's a bit of a squat thrust. Some people hate burpees. Okay, most of us hate burpees. But the reason we hate them usually is because they're really intense. And so a full burpee, just so you know, you're going to squat down. You guys can see me. Squat down to hands on the floor, back to a push-up position. Keep that butt down. Hop back in, and then you jump up at the top. But there's tons of alternatives for that. If you can't do a full burpee, that's fine. To make it more advanced, you can take it down, push up back, back up. Oh, I'm sorry, a push up back. To make it more advanced, you actually do a full push up at the bottom, then come in, and then bring it up and jump. The other things you can do is you can take out the jump altogether. You don't have to hop at the top. So when you stand up, you just actually stand and then go back down. It's an excellent, really full body, but that jumping motion and this motion to here, up to the jump, plyometrics is really good for the legs, okay? Donkey kicks. I don't know why these are called donkey kicks. I suppose because this is how a donkey actually kicks, but this is going to be on all fours. Love this exercise as well. It's a really good glute exercise, okay? So we're down on the floor, flat back, and basically the motion is just to take the foot straight back, and boy, is my butt engaged right now. I love it. So my toes are straight down at the floor, flexed foot, and then I'm going to bring it back down, okay? So push out and up. You're not going up. You're just coming basically out to where you're in alignment and back down. So my recommendation on these would be 10 on one side and then 10 on the other. Or more reps if you want to, since you're doing no weight at all, okay? So I would say you could do up to 20 on each side. Remember, however, that you're doing 3 sets of these. So that's how many reps I'm suggesting you do. Okay, and then the other side, that butt is tight. Again, from the camera angle, I hope you guys can tell, I'm not actually coming out and then up. I'm keeping a flat back. My arms, my elbows aren't locked, but they're staying elongated. It's just straight out and back down. That's the donkey kick. And Fire hydrants, so staying on all fours. Fire hydrants are an outer hip exercise, okay? So, if I'm down here, lifting my leg, fire hydrant. I think this comes from the fact that dogs lift their legs on fire hydrants. Makes me giggle. Okay, so straight up, straight down. The key here, guys, and I don't have a ton of flexibility in my hips, is that you may not be able to bring it very high. That's fine. But you're keeping your knees in alignment. So when you bring that leg out, it's staying in alignment with the other knee. It's not coming forward. It's not going back, okay? So what I mean by that is it's not coming back here. It's not coming up here. It's straight out and down. The height is going to vary for different people. But where I'm feeling it, here, all the way back into my glute. If you see it from the side, I'm here, okay, here. So this part of my leg, right here, the lower part of my leg, is staying the same height as the upper part of my leg. So I'm not like this, okay, straight up and down. Glutes and outer hips, woo, those fire hydrants are burners, man, I love them. 10 on each side for those. Okay, hip raises, next couple exercises are on the floor, and then one of my faves, the very last one. Hip raises, butt lifts. The word that I normally use are bridges, okay? So you're just laying flat back on the floor. I think you can see me. Hands down by your sides. Your feet are in pretty close to your rear end. You can kind of figure out how close or how far away is most comfortable for you. Okay, shoulder width apart, and then we're just going to lift, squeeze those glutes, and lower. When you're doing this, I want your abs really rock hard tight. Get them as flat as you can. Up and down. So this works abdominals. I feel it a little bit in my lower back. It's obviously for my butt. I feel it in my hamstrings. I feel it in my glutes. Everything's really engaged. So when you do that, you want to do it on that 2-2 count, which is up for 2, little tiny hold, down for 2, up for 2, little tiny hold. Remember that breathing that I gave you guys applies, 2-2 tempo, exhale on exertion, up for 2, down for 2, breathing through the whole process. Really think about that. It will help you do the exercises properly, okay? And then we have lying side leg lifts, another easy one with no weights. It's not an easy exercise. In fact, I think side leg lifts are one of those exercises that it never really feels easy. It's never like you get to a point where you're like, oh, these are a lot easier for me, I swear. But abductor and adductors, where you can lay just on your elbow like this. Can you guys see me? Boy, that's not nice. Go back just a little further. Okay, so you can lay out on your elbow like this. You can come up on your elbow if that's more comfortable for you, whatever you want. I've got a bent leg on the bottom just to support myself. And then I'm going to come straight up and straight down for that outer hip, 2-2 count. Okay, I'm not coming up really far. It's just basically up till I feel a squeeze and down. Right here is where I'm feeling it, guys. Now the thing on position of the leg here is you never want to have your toes up, pointed up towards the ceiling. And you can have them just straight, but sometimes it's almost a little bit helpful to almost have the toes just relax the foot and let the toes sort of dangle down. And it's up and down. And again, I'm keeping my body fully in alignment. So my leg's not forward, it's not back behind me. It's in alignment with the rest of me right here. Okay? So that's the outer hip. Then, while you're on that same side, you do 10 or more reps if you want, since we're not using weight. And then you switch to inner thigh. Okay? So I like to put my leg behind me. Some people like to put it here. I feel like I get better work in this inner thigh right here if I have this leg behind me, but you will have to feel that out for yourself. Again, you can also be laying down on your arm rather than up on your elbow. If you are up on your elbow, do your best not to sink into your shoulder like this. Sorry, my black outfit today doesn't show up very good against the carpet. I just realized that. But come up and hold yourself up here, okay? Don't sink into the shoulder. All right. So basically the same thing here. I don't want my toes up towards the ceiling. You can have them basically just flat, but try to relax the foot and almost let the toes point down towards the floor just a little bit. And then you're going to up for 2 and down for 2. mind in the muscle here, guys. So where I'm feeling it, where the burn, the squeeze right now, but it's going to turn into a burn, is right here. Don't rock. It's a nice controlled movement. Make sure, and don't worry about how high you're going. If you get to here and you feel the squeeze and that's all you got, that's fine. Small little movements. As long as the proper muscle's working, that's okay. But you might have to go a little further to really feel the squeeze, okay? Up for 2, down for 2. So do 10 on each side, or 10 of the outer thigh, 10 of the inner thigh, and then switch sides, 10 of the upper thigh, 10 of the inner thigh, and then of course you're going to do 3 sets again. 3 exercises for 3 rounds. Okay guys, last exercise, exercise number 9 of lower body no equipment are power skips. I love these. It's going to be hard for me to get this whole thing in the angle here. Let's see. So what this is how would I liken this? I was a terrible skipper when I was little, honestly, so it's kind of funny that I like these so much. I couldn't quite get the skip down. But basically you're going to have one foot in front of the other. I'll show this from the front and from the side. So if my left foot is back, I'm getting a pretty good wide stance here, okay? So I'm here. I'm going to work this leg only on this particular one. And what's going to happen is I'm going to come forward in this motion, bring my knee up, but I'm going to add power to it, okay? So if you're a beginner and you want a modification, you could do it just like this. There's 1. There's 2. You can see me trying to, it's hard to watch myself moving in the camera and keep straight. So, okay, 3. So that would be your modification. But if you want to make it more advanced, start moving up. Obviously, the higher you jump, the more advanced it is. So it's here. Okay, we're getting some plyometrics right here. Boom, up. Boom, up. I feel it. 3 of them I just did, and this is burning already. Boom, up. Okay, so anywhere from here to here to here. Okay, that's how you make it more intense. I'm going to show you the other leg from the side so you guys can see what it looks like from the side. My body stays upright. I'm not leaning here. Okay, and so if I was just bringing that knee up, it's here and back down, here, back down. Abs are tight the whole time, okay? If you guys are ready and you want to add in that power, looks like this. Up, down, up, down. Obviously, you can't do a 2-2 count on this. You're just jumping up. And in that one, 10 on each side. And with that, guys, there's your all the lower body exercises, demonstrations. If you have additional questions on them, please post your questions in the group, and I'll answer them. And moving on to video number 2. See ya!